can Netflix go next? The next step is it has to be as big as Google. That's its next step. It goes to Facebook and then Google size. Google, by the way, is like the technology dog lately. It's got a lousy 30 PE ratio, and it has more potential than any of these other companies. I think Google is like getting the treatment like Bank of America. It's ridiculous. Netflix is, just to put it simply, it is a hyper bubble right now. The only place Netflix can go from here is down. The actual value of the company. I'm not talking about the stock price. Of course, stock price could go to 20 billion. That could happen in the short term. I think the cap really. I'm trying to think of the point where the news and people would be like, "Whoa, what's going on?" It's almost as big as Google. 657. I could see it pushing there. Anything beyond that, they'd have to pour gas on our faces and just like totally create a mania from like weaponized bubble mania thinking. They'd have to like gas the people to go higher than 7. So it's very near its roof. It's very near its ceiling. These companies can be tricky too. They can say like, "Oh, we made a great profit this year," because they push all their expenses to the next quarter. So you're like, "Oh my God, now they're 50 PE. That's amazing. Where are they going to go next?" Every company is in their space, for one. But I want to pretend for a second that Netflix gets every customer in the world. And then I want to say what they're worth. Let's talk about what they're worth. If they get every single customer in the world, and let's be fair, let's call that $1 billion because, there's babies, and there's like, you get 4 subscriptions with one, so you can't really have more than $1 billion. I think if they covered the world, and I'm going to leave out Mars. I know we're going to colonize Mars soon, and there'll be another 100 or 200 people they could grab there. I'll throw those in. I'll throw Mars inhabitants in as well. Let's call it 1,020,000,000 subscribers Netflix has. Let's look forward and see what are they going to make there. 15 billion, right? They're $15 a month on the high end, right? They have a $9 subscription. Let's average. Let's say 12 billion. That's all they're going to make. 12 billion a month if they have the world as their subscriber. Don't get me wrong, I'm not short-sighted. I know they could have cross-platforms there. They could throw a couple ads on eventually, and all that, and generate some sideline revenue, a little whatever you want to call it. 12 times 12, 144. I'm doing this live. There's no script here. You don't see me blinking and cutting in and out of the screen. I'm just here with you right now. 12 times 12 is $144 billion. Still under their market cap. That's revenue, by the way. That wasn't profit. $144 billion and the whole world is watching Netflix. So we're looking at, I don't know, profit-wise, well, on their current, what is it, 50 billion they're doing now. They're doing about $2 billion in profit a year, if I recall. I was reading their earnings statement all yesterday. It was a little convoluted, but they're doing about $2 billion in profit. So, and they have 180 million subscribers. 5 times that is, 5 or 6 times that is 12 billion. So they got the world. They're doing 12 billion in profit a year. I think their market cap is currently a little high for even that. I think 250 billion divided by 12, that's a 21p, but they can't get the 100, 200p at that point because they can't really go beyond the world at this point. Eventually they can get Jupiter and Mars and everyone else. But right now they can only get they can't really 21p. So I think they might be fairly valued if they had the world. They could possibly be fairly valued. I still wouldn't buy them because, I mean, they're in the big boys space. I mean, Disney's in this space, Google's in this space, and YouTube. Honestly, I believe will eventually take over all media. I'm already going there now. I might even cancel my Netflix. I have to wait. Waco is a big disappointment. You don't want to depress your users. For one, and you see a couple of Netflix shows, you've seen them all, and there's only so much time we have now with all the hyperinflation to sit at home. We all got to work like 12-hour days now. So at the end of that, you just really want to just do some deep breathing. You don't really have time for Netflix. But YouTube is where I'm at mostly now. I get to watch not only shows, but all different people talk about their opinions about Netflix. And this is my topic of choice. So that's where I spend most of my time. So they're going to be competing with those eyes. Like I said, Disney, HBO, all the major powerhouse production companies are putting out content. Of course, other people are going to enter the space, and people are going to find other ways to entertain themselves. It's not just going to be Netflix forever. They had a good thing going for a while. It got bigger. They were like the Zoom of movies. So it's like, people would go there before Google or HBO Go or whatever. They had that little thing going for a while, but $2.25 trillion valuation. I mean, it's absolutely obscene. On $2 billion, it's 100% speculation. It's 100% speculation. Their growth right now during the pandemic, more people are like, I'm home collecting unemployment. Let me sign up for Netflix. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's a temporary thing. They're all going to be canceling their memberships. And that growth itself doesn't give them a justified PE even in the short term. On top of that, the people that are home watching more that already had Netflix, all they're doing is using more bandwidth. They're just putting more drain on the system. You'd rather them be at work all day and only watch an hour a day rather than 90 hours a day. That doesn't help you the more they watch. Netflix doesn't get paid based on usage. They get paid based on subscription. So they're just a giant bubble. That's all I wanted to say about Netflix. I don't want to go on much longer beyond that. What else can I say about? I mean, I will disclose that I'm shorting them in a lot of tech stocks right now. Not Google, I'll tell you that much. Google's like this, they're going to be getting a 1 PE soon, the way they're running. I mean, they're only $1 trillion, I mean, they were like the world superpower for a minute, and now they have to worry about bubbles getting in their way, like Tesla, the biggest speculation bubble since the tulip mania. Zoom, they have a niche and people are web conferencing more because they don't want to go out and wear a mask. Yeah, I know, that's great. Go on the webcam all day. You're not getting $70 billion from me. It's like they're making nothing for money. Oh, but they're gonna transcribe the call and then sell the data to a marketing agency, and they're gonna get $20 for it. They're not getting $70 billion. And by the time they finally get their act together, Facebook Zoom is gonna blow them out of the water. Facebook is a dinosaur size company. I don't want to say dinosaur like old. Dinosaur versus a little worm Zoom is in the ground. So they're going to get crushed by Facebook, Apple, Google, all of them. It's going to completely destroy them. On top of the fact that even without them, they're useless. I don't care if nobody else enters their space and they're the only ones in their space. I got to do a whole other video on Zoom. I go off on Zoom forever. Just want to let you know, I hope you're not long Netflix. Even though you have a potential to get another 10%, 15%, if the hypermania psychosis continues. Do you really want to put your life on the line for that? When it could go to $90 a share and be completely justified in doing so?